Well, none of us saw that one coming, did we? Except for most of us did, I think. And for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about Stadia and the fact that they're shutting down their first-party studios. And this was all over the internet yesterday, and loads of people have reported on it. But I wanted to go to the horse's mouth and actually read you out the statement that Stadia themselves put out. And this is it here. You can see it up on the screen. It says, focusing on Stadia's future as a platform and winding down SG and E. And this is from Phil Harrison, who is Vice President and General Manager, Google Stadia. And as I say, I'm going to read you the whole statement because I think it's important to go through the whole thing. And then I'll talk about it. And then hopefully we can discuss it in the comments as well. And it says, we launched Stadia with the goal of making your favourite games instantly available wherever you want to play them. With the recent successful launch of Cyberpunk 2077 on Stadia, gameplay on all types of devices, including iOS, growing our slate of YouTube integrations, and our global expansions, it's clear that Stadia's technology has been proven and works at scale. Having games streamed to any screen is the future of this industry. And I don't disagree with him there. I think it probably is the future. But anyway, let's read on. And we'll continue to invest in Stadia and its underlying platforms to provide the best cloud gaming experience for our partners and the gaming community. This has been the vision of Stadia since the beginning. So he's saying that it's been proven at scale and that it works. And I have to say, my own experience is that it does work pretty well. So I can't really argue with that. I do have a bit of an issue with Cyberpunk 2077 because it works okay on Stadia as far as I understand it. But it's not exactly the ideal game to be crowing about, really. But yeah, so he says they'll continue to invest in Stadia. And that's an interesting one. Let's read on because I think what he's saying in that first paragraph is kind of contradicted by what's actually happening. He says, in 2021, we're expanding our efforts to help game developers and publishers take advantage of our platform technology and deliver games directly to their players. We see an important opportunity to work with partners seeking a gaming solution all built on Stadia's advanced technical infrastructure and platform tools. We believe this is the best path to building Stadia into a long-term, sustainable business that helps grow the industry. Well, that's all very well, but yeah, they're saying they're going to help their partners. But the problem with that is that, and we'll get to this a little bit more in a minute, Stadia need to have something unique that draws people in. And without having their own studios, that's not what they've got. They've just got a delivery platform. And I'm not sure that that's entirely enough. But anyway, let's read on and I'll cover this a bit more in a minute. Creating best-in-class games from the ground up takes many years and significant investment. And I think that's an important point, and we'll come back to that. And the cost is going up exponentially. Given our focus on building on proven technology of Stadia as well as deepening our business partnerships, we've decided that we will not be investing further in bringing exclusive content from our internal development team, SG&E, beyond any near-term planned games. With the increased focus on using our technology platform for industry partners, Jade Redmond has decided to leave Google to pursue other opportunities. We greatly appreciate Jade's contribution to Stadia and wish her the best of luck in her future endeavours. Over the coming months, most of the SG&E team will be moving on to new roles. We're committed to working with this talented team to find new roles and support them. So, yeah, this is the bit here that I think is really important. Creating best-in-class games from the ground up takes many years and significant investment, and the cost is going up exponentially. But basically what they're saying here is that they're not prepared to actually invest in their platform. You can read it any way you like, but ultimately that's what they're saying. They're not prepared to put their money where their mouth is. And I think that says everything you need to know about where we are now with Stadia. As I said before, having used Stadia, and if I go here, I can show you, I've actually got Stadia and I'm actually a paid up member. If we go into settings, you can see purchase and subscriptions. I'm actually on the $8.99 a month at the moment. So I'm actually using it and I do pay for it every month, although I haven't bought any games on the service because I was worried that Stadia wouldn't be a long-term option. So actually buying games was going to be a problem moving forward. And it seems that that is the case. As I say here, they're not investing. They're not prepared to invest. And if they're not prepared to invest, why should they expect their customers to invest? Why would I buy games on this service if they're not prepared to spend the money to make their own games? Anyway, let's just move on and I'll go back and talk a bit more at length about that in a moment. What does this mean if you're a current or future Stadia gamer? Why anyone would be a future Stadia gamer at this juncture, I don't know. But anyway, you can continue playing all your games on Stadia and Stadia Pro for now, and we'll continue to bring new titles from third parties to the platform. We're committed to the future of cloud gaming and we'll continue to do our part to drive this industry forward. Our goal remains focused on creating the best possible platform for gamers and technology for our partners, bringing these experiences to life for people everywhere. And I'll bring you back to that again. It's all very well saying you're committed, but you cannot be entirely committed if you're not prepared to actually spend some time and money and energy making these games. If you look at the competition out there, let's not count Amazon for the minute because their service is still kind of in a fledgling stage and I don't know where they're going to go with that. But if we look at Xbox have been buying studios all over the place. And it looks like the stories that have been coming out over the last couple of weeks, it looks like they're actually still actively hunting around for a big acquisition, and they may well be actually in talks for another big acquisition of the kind of Bethesda level. They've already bought lots of smaller studios, so we know they're looking to invest. If you look at Epic, I know I've got my issues with Epic. But if you look at Epic, they've got Fortnite, they've got Unreal, they've got the Unreal Engine, obviously, which a lot of other games use to underpin, their service, their game, if you like. And then, and I hate to say this, but they've got all these exclusivity deals. And I think that's important as well. And I'll get back to that in a moment. But Epic are spending a lot of money getting exclusivity deals and saying, look, we're prepared to invest in our service. So like it or loathe it, at least they are investing money. And they do have their own first-party properties like Fortnite. Nintendo, Sony, well, we all know where they are. I mean, they spend an awful lot of money on their first party, and their first party sells their platform. And I've talked about exclusives before, and I don't particularly like exclusives, but I do think the first-party exclusives, the ones that you make yourself for your platform and use it to sell your platform, I think they are important. I think you have to have that two-pronged attack of first and third party. And Stadia hasn't got that. Certainly not now. It never had it, really, because it never actually released any games, as I say, as far as I'm aware. And, you can go in and there's all these free games they give away each month or whatever, and I've got a load of them here. These are all games that I can play. But there's nothing on here that would actually make me have the service. And the only reason I've really got the service is so that I can talk about it, in the sense that I know what I'm talking about because I've got the service and I use it. But there's nothing really compelling here that would make me buy Stadia, that would make me take out the monthly subscription to Stadia. And there's certainly nothing here that would make me spend money on the games that they have for sale. If you go into the store, wait till that to go. And look, I mean, you know, we've got Red Dead Redemption and so on and so forth. There's all these games here that they've got for sale, but the prices aren't any better than you would get from the other platforms. And these games, well, you can only stream them. And so with this now, with this, them saying they're not prepared to actually invest, this bit here again, then it makes you wonder. It makes you think, well, okay, look, you know, they're not investing in these games. Why should I buy these games? And I know I've said that already, but I think it is really, really important. And I have to think that as we go down the line, I don't care what they're saying here, that you know, they're looking to the future and they're looking to invest with their partners and all the rest of it. It looks to me like they're actually pulling back from Stadia rather than investing. And that is extremely worrying on two counts. First, they may leave their customers high and dry. If they pull out and people have bought games, we've discussed this before, and it was a worry I had right from the beginning. If you buy games on Stadia and then Google do what Google do and pull out, what happens to those games? And we still don't know. We still don't know. They've never actually made it clear what will happen. Will they reimburse you? I doubt it. So you're going to be left with what, games that you've bought that you can't do anything with because the platform doesn't exist anymore. The other element might be that Stadia are true to their word and they are interested in investing, in which case the only thing they've got left to them now is the Epic Game Store approach. And that's to buy exclusivity deals and keep games on their platform exclusively. And I could see them going down that route. And that worries me even more than them going the way of the dodo. Because if they start throwing their cash around and buying up exclusivity deals, then it just fragments the market even more. And of all the platforms to have exclusives, and you know, first-party exclusives, if they were making those, fine. And if they made a fantastic first-party exclusive, good on them. But this, of all the platforms that I can think of that I wouldn't want to see buying up exclusivity rights, Stadia is it. Because even if they did that, they could still pull out down the line. So for me, I can't see me sticking with Stadia much longer. I think I'm going to actually cancel my subscription because it's not worth it. They're not investing. Why should I? That's the way I look at it anyway. But the other thing, one last thing they could do is they could actually start buying up studios. So they've got ready-made studios like Microsoft did with Bethesda. And again, that worries the hell out of me because you could actually see them buy up a big studio, have a couple of games come out, and then decide that that's not working either. So they've shut down their first party, and now they're going to shut down these studios down the line that they've purchased because that's what Google do, isn't it? It's what they've done for years. And I actually think if you read this and you look at this, I think I said this at the beginning, Stadia for me was Google entering a market they didn't understand and thinking they could throw their cash around and they could throw their market share around and use it as a way of shoehorning them into this business. But if you need to get into a business like this, you need to spend the time and the effort. The last company that really did that was Microsoft. Successfully, I mean. And, you know, they're still behind the curve. They're still behind Sony. They're still behind Nintendo in many respects, certainly in the way people perceive them. It takes years. It takes investment. It takes commitment. And saying that you're not prepared to actually spend time and energy making games says to me that they haven't got any real commitment. You know, and people have leveled this criticism at Microsoft. And Microsoft, at least they've tried to put out exclusive games. They've tried to put out their own first-party content. It hasn't always worked, but they have tried. Google, it seems to me with Google, they just think they can swan into a market and take it over. I don't know. I don't know what their attitude is. Are they so insular that they think they always know best? I mean, you can see this with YouTube. They don't seem to think that they have to listen to, creators or anyone like that. They seem to think they can just do their own thing. And the rest of us just have to sort of go along being led by the nose and do what they want us to do. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm going on a bit and I've repeated myself a few times here because this is off the cuff. I was reading this and it was so obvious to me that this is the way it was going to go. It really was. I'm not at all surprised that this is what we are seeing. And I won't be at all surprised if 6 months, a year, 2 years down the line, Stadia goes away completely. And so why would anyone investing in it at this stage? Why would you buy games on the platform at this stage? Why would you pay a monthly fee to them? I mean, what, for the free games? I mean, as I say, if you look at them, are they anything really to write home about? I mean, there's a few decent games on here, but really? Is there anything on here that isn't available elsewhere? Really? There isn't. And maybe the convenience of it, I don't know, but Microsoft offer that as well. They offer the convenience now with xCloud. So yeah, I think that streaming is the future. I think that's where we're going to be in 10 years' time. I think streaming's going to take over, but I'm not sure that Stadia is the way to do it. I think their business model was all over the place. The idea that you have to rent a service and then pay for the games on top didn't sit well with me from the beginning. And I wonder how many people have actually bothered with it. I really do. I think maybe it's just YouTubers like me who just wanted to be able to talk about it, and nobody else really is that interested. I talk to family and friends. They don't even know what Stadia is. And they couldn't care less, to be honest. Even the ones who are, relatively keen gamers. I don't know very many gamers who've bothered with it. But anyway, look, as I say, I'm going on and I'm losing my voice. So I'm going to bugger off and I'll speak to you guys in the next one. Bye.